I'm Caroline Daly and I'm from UCL Institute of Education. It's been an immense honour to become a Fellow of IPDA. I can't really think of a more important time for nations across the world and also in the UK to work really closely together to try to have a dialogue about the challenges that we face at the moment in teacher education. And I'm not just talking about the teacher recruitment and retention crisis. I'm talking about the need for us to enable those who are in the profession to have a voice, to think critically, to really thrive in their profession and to stay in teaching. And IPDA helps us to do that by helping us come together in the community that we are to talk about our practice and to research our practice. So to be made a fellow of this organisation at this time, I think that we need more opportunities to be able to have the conversations that we have through IPDA and to be able to promote the agenda that we have through IPDA and through our work in research and development. So yeah, it's a fantastic honour. Around the expectation that we can have a self-improving education system that relies on the professional knowledge and understanding of expertise of our teachers within schools and their leaders. I think that's a right expectation, but I think that there's a vast underestimation of the kind of support that professionals need. So I think the investment in teachers' professional learning in order to enable them to be able to support a self-improving system is vastly underestimated. It's underestimated in policy that tries to find quick fix solutions. It's underestimated in the way in which at the moment we can see a real interest in mentoring in terms of bringing expertise that already exists in schools to help new teachers to be sustained in the profession. I think that's a great and a noble aim, but I think it's really not thought through carefully enough in terms of the kinds of learning and the kinds of experiences that teachers themselves need to be able to undertake mentoring, to understand educative mentoring practice, to be able to understand how to have honest conversations, to be able to make things discussable that are risky around the kinds of oppressions and difficulties that teachers face in schools at the moment. Honest conversations are so hard to have within school communities that can be inward facing and within the current performativity agendas. It's actually a huge challenge for systems to work out how within school communities we can speak honestly across all stakeholders about what it is that teachers can learn, what they know, and how to be critical of some of the agendas that teachers are required at the moment to implement within their own practice in schools. I think it's one of the hardest things that we face at the moment. A huge amount seems to be being rested upon mentors and the future of mentoring to sort out a lot of our problems in early career development. And I think we need to look a lot harder at the range of research that's out there about how mentors themselves learn and the kind of learning models that they need to help them to become those who can sustain the teachers of the future. I would like to see a real attempt to broaden the understanding of what research-informed teaching can be for the teaching profession. I think that following the BERA RSA inquiry, aspects of the professional community understand what it might be to be a research-informed profession, but I think that a great deal more needs to be understood. On the ground within schools and within leadership teams, I think the needs to understand the importance of criticality, to interrogate the sources of evidence, to be able to enable teachers themselves to become inquirers, and inquirers that are not solution focused. That inquiry in itself is a skill that helps teachers to develop a strong knowledge base, and it's not about trying to make outside solutions fit and work in their contexts. That being research informed means, yes, reading and understanding the research of others, being able to do that critically, being able to understand and design our own inquiries within schools as teachers, and crucially, start with asking questions that are worth asking. Too much of the research to which teachers are exposed in schools and which is impressed upon them as being really important, is not necessarily dealing with questions that they need to be answering in their contexts. And too often the questions that arise within contexts are not really questions that are going to change anything very fundamental. They're questions that are going to tinker at the edges. What we really need are questions in research in schools that help teachers to look at the opportunities that are available for their learners, to look at reducing the vast inequalities that still exist within our school systems, to question the kind of curriculum offer that we have, to question our pedagogies, to question our assessment models, and rather than looking at research questions that help to make those things work better, start looking at research questions that ask fundamental queries about what's going on here, what's our role as teachers, what's our principled role, what are our ethics. None of that's very easy, and I know the question is around a short-term goal, if you like, for changing practice in schools. But I think that the short-term goal can be to help teachers understand the importance of becoming research literate. The long-term goal might be that we can actually end up with a profession that knows the questions that are worth asking.